My name is Theus. I heard about Meher Baba 1952 from my grandmother in Sweden. I was 6 years old, and I saw my grandmother was mentioned Meher Baba. That's all I heard. As she was going to America to visit him. She had seen him in 1931 and 1932. So, when I was too little, my mother said, so I cannot go, of course. Then, many years afterwards, in 1970, and I had to decide to, if nothing happened to my life, I was in a very dark cloud. If nothing happened now, I will even get rid of this old life of mine and start something new. But that day, when I decided that, there was a telephone call, and there was Elizabeth, there was Jane on the phone, Jane Haynes was on the phone. They were in Stockholm, and they wanted to visit our family. So Jane and Elizabeth showed up, and they talked, and I didn't understand much. I didn't speak English. I spoke German and Spanish that time. And Swedish. So they were all looking at Elizabeth asking, who can I pick? My brother was fully in college. He's about 10 years older than me, man. And my sister was in with her boys and all that stuff. I was a black sheep in the family, virtually. So Elizabeth said, why don't I take Theus over to America and see what he likes it over there, and show him this. She didn't say anything about the center. He said, well, just come with me to Myrtle Beach. So my mother said, okay, fine, we're leaving on your birthday. And that's what the day I decided to get rid of myself. And Baba just cleared it up and said, no, nothing doing here. You just ask a miracle from him. And I went over to America the first time. I was jet lagged and God knows what. And ended up seeing my aunt, lives in New York, used to live in New York, and now she lives in Albuquerque. And my mother wanted me to see America, so we took the bus from New York to Myrtle Beach. It was like 16-hour bus trip. I said, oh God. And Elizabeth comes in the bus station. She's short, and she have a hard time to walk and stuff like that. And she comes to pick us up. This is 1970. 1970, and this is late 70. This late 70. This beginning of September. Yeah, it's August 24th. So this late August. Say late August. And Baba. We come into Elizabeth's house. There's a picture of Baba right in there when you go into the house. I was asked my mother, who is that? And she said, it's Meher Baba. And I looked at it and said, I heard that name before. I thought in my mind. And then she took us to our room and all that stuff and showed us around. We stayed in Elizabeth's house the first day. And middle of the night, maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, I woke up and sneaked out of the house and walked against Baba's house. Wondered what all those sticks was around the house, why there was a barricade around the house. And Jane must have seen me, for Jane comes out there and she knows I don't speak English, and she said hello and gave me a nice hug, and I went back to the house. Next day we went. Elizabeth showed me around the center and showed me what I'm going to stay in the lookout, and I was going to stay with there for a year, first for 6 months, and then Elizabeth asked me, do you want to stay longer? Yes, I want to stay longer. So I stayed for a full year on the center in different cabins. I didn't stay in the lookout all the time. I stayed 6 months in the lookout. So that was interesting, just beside the lagoon cabin. When I went in the lagoon cabin, I felt peace and quiet in my mind. And the most drawing to me was Bob Brown and Jim Myers and a few others who was playing the music, so I really could get myself into. Really, my heart went pounding from it. And after that full year, I helped Fred, what's his name now? Winterfeld was, I talked to him in German what Bob was about. So he explained a little bit for me what Bob was about. I spent time with Ella. So I loved to just sit with Ella because she was so sweet and kind. And I worked with Frank Eaton. We used to help out. The only place I've been on, have not been in, is in the guest house. I've never been inside. I've been on top on the roof, working on the roof. So I still have very respect for that compound, and because of Mera. Then Kitty started looking at me and said, "It's time for you to go back to Sweden for a year and find a job." Okay. Behind my back, Elizabeth and my mother noticed that I was not very happy to go back. So they were working on a green card for me to move over to the States. So that was 1971, 72, late 72, middle of 72 when I went back. And somebody invited me up to Boston, so I went to Boston, and I had a friend, Kathy Haas and Annie Wellbell, was two of my best friends. We all come together to Bob at the same time, and they showed me how to meditate, how to relax, and how to be a little bit more steadier in myself. But I was a little lively and a little fruitcakey too. So I ended up going to moving over to the States in '75, and there was a big talk of our dear friend, what's his name now? Heather and Erico. They were talking about India. We were talking about the Manly in India. So everybody said, "But we're going to go to India." Then I was a good friend with Dave Nordin. And we were having fun together, talking about Bob, and he was showing me things that we were not supposed to do, and we did it anyway. And so we both said that I wrote to my parents and asked them if I could have some more money and go to India for 2 weeks, and they said yes. So David arranged everything for me, so the whole thing. So it was like an angel, and then he was a fire angel, you know, with one broken wing, that looked like. So yeah, I went there, went around and saw everything went to the Manly. That was hard for me to understand. I was just learning English, but just learning the English language. So it was hard for me to understand it. That's why I always sit very close to somebody who speaks English, so I can get the words, so I can translate them in my mind. And Kitty was the one who taught me English, and Janet Fowles, and Barbara and Clay Malcolm was the ones who taught me English too, if I put that in too. And I was in India, and I was saying to myself, I got sick, very deadly sick in India. I was heavy person. I used to be heavy and fat. And I lost about 90 pounds on the first trip, on that trip. And I said, I'm going out. This is all coming up in my past. Everything showed up in my past. I went to a New Year's party and there was music, some of what's from my past. I wanted to go home. I wanted to go back to the States right now. So Alan was staying in the Mayor colony with me and saying to me, yeah, your bath is ready. Your clothes are on your bed. Go take a bath. Come out to, this is 7th date. Vi had gone for Amatidi. This is the 7th date. Mira and all the ladies are coming. I think you should go. So I went. I went in line, waiting in line with everybody else. My friend Fly Chris was coming out from the Samadhi and seemed like this, shaking like an aspen. I asked him, what's the matter? Crocodile tears in his eyes and said, don't you know what God is in there? That's all he said. God is in there and he's full of love. And I went in, I don't know, I have no memory of what happened to me. I have nothing, I don't remember. Or I get out, or I get to sit back on my seat. I don't remember that. But after that, the only thing I wanted to do, I went back after 2 weeks, and the only thing I wanted to do is make money to go back to India. I went back to India for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and I begged money. The 3 times I begged money to get an entry visa, and she said, "No, you too nutty," she said to me. And Mira found out one day. Mira asked what happened in the office, or Theus is in the office, and he's asking for an entry visa. And Mira said, tomorrow call him in and give him his entry visa. He needs to be here for time being. And I got my entry visa, was hopping up and down. My mother showed up in India for the first time, saw everything. She got to be friends with Jack Small and all that. After this thing happened, and in the years have passed by, now I can go tell anybody who Meher Baba is. I'm not shy anymore. If somebody asks me, who is Meher Baba? I will tell them, he's God in human form. He has come back again. I dare to say that, but it took me a long time. After hearing everybody's story, talking about Baba and, you know, having people listening to stories about Baba is amazing. So I hope this little story will help somebody to know what Baba is, who he is, as I come back again for us all. Thank you, Baba, for letting me be with you all. Jai Baba. My mother said that when she went, wherever my brother went, whatever country he went to, so she said, oh, I'm going to India to visit Theus and bring him a drum box, a music box. I wanted a music box. And my father sent me one of those fancy leather chairs. You know, fancy leather chairs look like this. Yeah. But that's coming from the bank's office. And it was shipped because we had some friends, some was living in India, and they could ship anything they wanted to ship over, duty free. So that chair is still in Mehrabad. So that's probably in Jimmy Mystery's office. Rachel, did I tell you what my mother said when we were walking down?
Yes, you did.
Well, she enjoyed being with Mansari and Go Here. Yeah. So she was sitting with Go Here with Mansari and having fun time. And there comes Go Here in and grabs her and says, will you come in with me? The ladies are here. Mira and everybody. Mira wants you.
At the time?
Yeah. Mira wants you. So she goes in, and Mira plucks one of the roses, opens the roses so gently, talks to the rose to open it up, so it opens up, so beautiful. I tried it and it's very difficult. And we were walking down from the Samadhi, walking down the hill, and my mother's tears were falling down. And I was asking her, "Are you all right?" And she looked at me and said, "I know who Baba is. I know that he's God. I know that for a fact."